Hello, I'm Eric Snodgrass, and thank you for watching today's Western U.S. Regional Forecast video, brought to you by Nutrien Ag Solutions. Well, we got to start off with this animation of the flow of the jet stream, because I'll be honest, this is one of the most impressive troughs and subsequent downstream jet streaks I have ever seen. You know, we've had this split flow pattern out in the Pacific Ocean that's built into this huge trough that's gone right now over the western part of the United States, and it has brought bitterly cold air down with it, and also some very interesting snowfall events. So check this out. It snowed in Vegas, big wet snowflakes falling in Vegas. In fact, I grabbed a video here. This was widely shared on the internet just outside of Vegas here. Look how huge these snowflakes were. So they got a quick blanket of snow here with some very, very heavy snow. But I'll tell you this too. If you come down here into Southern California, I'm talking about like the San Bernardino Mountains, San Gabriel Mountains. We actually had some snow in far southern California as well. We'll show you that video in a second, but I'll tell you this. If I were out west right now, I think the thing I would have wanted to do was drive from Phoenix to Flagstaff, because if you just see the elevation changes here, big, big, big snows if you just drive north out of Phoenix. Amazing to see that. But let me show you that snow out of LA. You know, it's just little flurries. This isn't like a big snowfall event, but snow is exceptionally rare this far south and this far down in altitude. So pretty rare event here. I'm going to go back and look throughout the records to see how long ago it was that they had snow at this low of altitude that far back. Okay, with that though, we got to look bigger picture because we're talking about ag, and I want to take a look again at the latest drought monitor update, which came out on February 21st. You know, the areas that I'm concerned about, it's kind of getting in here around the Four Corner states, and then again Oregon. I've got some very good news for Oregon, and we are piling up the snow deep in that trough in those Four Corner states, so this is good for both locations. This pattern is changing though. We have to talk about it. First though, look at the 1 month U.S. Drought Monitor class change map. So we're looking for improvements here. Much of the western United States has seen improvement, but the only place that's been left out of this has been parts of Texas with all the active weather we've seen recently. But certainly an improvement across almost all of California and even into Oregon and much of the west. Okay. Over the last 14 days, of course, we've seen a surplus in total accumulated precipitation. So you're looking over there on the left at a map that shows you the departure from normal. But I want to focus more on what this has done to our snowfall amounts. I could not be happier with this map to see almost every reporting station across the western United States at or above 80%. And we're going to be adding to these amounts right up here and even in Northern California over the next, let's call it 7 to 10 days. So let's get on into that forecast. Our next few days are relatively quiet. You're going to see this huge upper level trough eject out of the Four Corner states there. But getting you through Saturday, much of the west is quiet, except where we have this little onshore event that's coming into parts of Oregon. And again, this will be our major focal point here moving forward. So we're going to take a closer look at that in just a few seconds. But first, we just kind of put all the precipitation together. You can see that much of the Central Valley of California, where we do most of our ag, is going to be relatively dry, getting you through early Sunday. But again, like I said, we have that one event that's kind of coming on shore here, bringing us some snow to the Coast Range, bringing it into the Cascades, and even getting back into the Sawtooth and also into the Columbia Plateau. So we do have a system coming through, but I'll tell you, look at this down here in parts of Arizona, still piling up the snow down here, and even some lower elevation rain before that system finally ejects and goes like this, dumping a lot of snow here, and then record rainfall across parts of the Tennessee Valley, getting into the Ohio and lower Mississippi River Valley. Important to think about that for you folks out west, because this is where we move a lot of products on our rivers in the eastern part of the country. So just something to keep in mind there. Okay, the pattern change I want to address is this. We have to watch the Pacific Ocean in this animation. So as we kind of play this forward, let's just get this first trough out. So there it goes. Now what I want you to see is that the next system that comes through here, it's located right here. So this is Sunday, and what I want you just to see here is that we've got this flow pattern. So we have this little trough here, and to the south of it a ridge. And so what we end up getting is, we end up getting this decent, you know, onshore flow like this. Now this is a relatively small event. Wait until I show you what's coming, Oregon. It's going to get much, much different. Are you ready? So this huge ridge establishes over Alaska, but notice to the south of it, we've now got a well-established show. So this is a high over low pattern. Now this has got you all the way out to next winter. Again, we're just looking at the general flow, and what do we see? We see a ridge that's in through here, and a broader trough that's in through there, and that screams to me strong onshore flow, big atmospheric river event I think we need to be watching out for here in the next several days for California, Northern California, but really through Oregon and Washington. Now as we continue to let this pattern evolve, let's just see where it goes. We can see a little bit of a ridge builds there, but don't worry about that ridge because we have such a deep trough offshore. That's going to move on, and that's going to keep bringing in the moisture here to the west coast, really northern California through Washington, and of course that's going to get into Idaho and Montana. And as we stretch this out all the way to the end of the first week of March, while we do see a breakdown in the patterns such that we start to ridge out more in the Gulf of Alaska, we still have this kind of elongated trough feature that sneaks back through here, and that I think is just going to help keep us with the cooler weather and also keep us with the active pattern. So let me show you this another way. We're going to look at a precipitable water animation. So if you see blues, that's drier than normal air, and reds would be wetter than normal. Now you watch this red that you see right out here and watch how things evolve such that they start to focus in here on the west coast as I play this. So here we go. Ready? There they go. See that? That is that flow I'm talking about. That's the potential atmospheric river that comes through next week that we have to be watching out for. So when we put it all together, let's just play this out just to see how these events unfold. Remember, starting off the weekend, much of California doesn't have too much to talk about here. Let's watch that again real quick. But we still have that event, like I showed you a moment ago, Saturday into Sunday, basically northern California, but really getting into Idaho, Oregon, and Washington. Okay, now you're just going to see here with time, look at this. Things don't really let up for Northern California, Oregon, Washington. I got you all the way out here to next Thursday. And we just kind of keep seeing these systems coming ashore. Then look, there's the next big push. This is March 2nd. That's a Saturday. And so that pattern, as it evolves, such that we start to get that trough sitting off the west coast, gets us relatively wet. So here it is. Let's put it all together. You can see the sources of moisture. It's right there. You can see what it's taking aim on. Now, what about snowfall? Because we're not going to show you much of Southern California because they're going to get out of this. They're actually going to go into a little bit of a warmer pattern. But this is your next 5 days only. So we're looking at over the next 5 days. We can see the Cascades picking up here another couple of feet. Maybe the higher elevations, of course, getting quite a bit more of that. The Coast Range, both in Washington, Oregon, getting down into California, the same. Look over here at the Columbia Plateau and then the basin, you know, extending up into here. We're still picking up quite a bit of snow as well. Now, we don't necessarily need to look at this and say, oh, that's the exact amount that we're going to get. We're just looking at the placement of the snow here, not the exact amount. But look at the Sawtooth. Holy smokes. Here near Payette, and then getting up in the northern part of the Rocky Mountains, quite a bit of snowfall as well. So this is that pattern is just shoving the moisture on shore here. It's pretty good. Let's finish this up by taking a look at temperatures. Now, we know we've been stuck in this very, very cold pattern. In fact, we are in parts of Montana extremely cold. There is a bit of moderation that is coming, but it's going to take some time. Let me show you. This is every 6 hours looking at temperature anomalies. Montana, you stay in the cold at least past the weekend, but notice as the flow pattern starts to adjust there, if I kind of just take you back here for a second, as that flow pattern adjusts such that we kind of focus things on Oregon. So this is now around March 2nd. We do build in a little bit of warmth in through here simply due to the fact there's a ridge in that area. But that cold air has to be dislodged and sent east, and it's taking its dear sweet time because the trough establishes here as a connecting piece back toward the four corners with time. So I'm sorry, Montana. If I could change this, I would, but it is brutally cold there, at least looking through the first maybe week and a half of March as well. Okay, with that, we'll go and wrap up this forecast video. We at Nutrien Ag Solutions hope you look forward to our next regional forecast coming out soon. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you then. Thank you.